Hello, people of YouTube. Back again with another tip for your cob modifying for either just a hobby or if you're working on a cob foolery contest entry. We're going to talk about shanks again. Now, I know in the last video where I talked about different methods or even a through method or changing the wood that's on the shank from what comes OEM stock with the Missouri Meerschaum to example. I got a dowel here. It's just nothing special. I just think it's a piece of maple, if I remember right. And you're gonna get your dowel. The problem you're gonna have though is you still gotta get a hole down the middle. And there's a few ways to accomplish this, and I'm gonna share with you the way I do it. And it's pretty much, to me, it's really the only way I do it because it's simple. The two methods you can use is you can use a hand drill and try to drill through, but chances are you're probably it's gonna want to, jaunt off to the left or right by the time you get through. Even though you don't have a real long distance to go, but a few inches, it can be hard to get this to go straight down the middle. For a couple of reasons is with a hand drill, you might wobble a little bit. Another reason is sometimes these aren't perfectly straight, so it's not the method I really do, because I learned a better way to drill. Well, it's an interesting method that I picked up doing woodworking of how to get a hole dead center on a round piece of wood. Granted, this is only going to help you for if you're doing a shank. If you're trying to pull this off with a church warden, I'm not sure how well that's going to work, because even on a drill press, like I said, wood is not necessarily straight, so you might end up kidding left or right if you're doing trying to make like something like a long, like Canadian or something like that shank for your pipe. So with this, I'm gonna have to flip you around, and we're gonna have to go back to the magic piece of paper. So hold on tight. Picture page, now it's time for picture page. Time to grab your crayons and your pencils. Alright guys, welcome to the magical white piece of paper where I scribble things really bad and probably confuse you. So, you got your dowel that you either made, if you know how to make them, or you purchased online or at a big box store, be it oak, maple, whatever. In all honesty, if you're going to go with maple, you might as well just leave the old shank in there yet sometimes, because it's not going to be that much different, and the shanks that come with don't necessarily... Probably will stain a lot evener. Anyways, continuing. This method is going to require a drill press. So unfortunately you guys don't have a drill press. You're probably going to have to go with the hand drill method. So I'm just going to make a really simple drawing. Here's your drill press. That's going to just kind of be your chuck. The rest of it, the machine will be up here. And here is going to be your plate on your drill press. What you're going to want to do is find a piece of wood to put on there to drill through. Because if you ever look on a lot of plates on drill presses, there's always a hole in the middle. Okay, so this is that. Just flat. So you're going to put your piece of wood on there. You're going to find a drill bit that's exact size of the dowel that you plan on using for your shank. Okay, so you're going to chuck that up. You're going to put that drill bit, like I said, that's exact same size as your dowel you plan on using for your shank, and you're gonna drill that hole through this piece of wood, through that little hole coming out the bottom. The best thing to do is you're gonna have to clamp this wood somehow, secure it so it doesn't move. After that, you drill that hole through that piece of wood. You're going to getting caught on stuff here, and I got the cat and dog fighting again. You're going to take this bit out. Let's just draw this again. Kind of the same setup. Like I said, you're going to want to clamp that piece of wood onto that plate. Now with that hole, like I said, it's the same size as that dowel, and you're going to want to make sure it's going to be a snug fit. You're going to put that dowel in that hole that was just drilled. Not really protruding from the top a whole lot, so it's about flush with that. Now you're going to chuck up the drill bit you want for your draft hole. And what just happened is when you drilled this hole, Like I said, that's why it's so important to clamp this piece of wood that you're actually drilling a hole through. It actually has already made a hole, and anything you put in that hole is going to be centered. So now with this coming down into that hole that's holding the dowel, it's already going to be centered on the dowel. It's going to be centered on that hole. So when you come down and drill, you're going to get a hole down the middle of that dowel or whatever piece of wood. Well, it works mostly just with dowels because the round hole. You're going to get a hole right down the middle of that. Like I said, it's going to work for these short little stems if you're doing them. Like I said, if you get too out of control, I don't really know what the break point is for where it won't work no more. It might be limited to the size of your drill bit, but obviously you're not going to get a really long drill bit in there. Well, you might. So that is how I had learned to drill a hole in the center of a dowel or anything that's round, and it works so simple. It takes a lot of the guesswork out. If you have a drill press, this is going to save you a lot of headache trying to use like a hand drill. You know, you're going to go through a couple pieces probably before you get a hole straight through if you're trying to make your own shank. So hope that helps any of you guys, and you guys have a good afternoon.